Hello friends, in last lecture we had discussed about most important organs of the United Nations. But today I am discussing with you about some other organs of United Nations. So the important point is United Nations has important organs are main three which we have already discussed. General Assembly, Security Council, and Secretariat. But apart of that, other three organs are also most important, as like ECOSOC, Economic and Social Council. It is called ECOSOC. ECOSOC is a important organ in term of creating deep impact over the livelihood of the people in larger aspect, because they have main six functions or international organizations working under their roof, as like WHO, World Health Organization. Second, IMF, International Monetary Fund. Third, Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Fourth, ILO, International Labour Organization. Fifth, UNICEF, UNICEF. Actually, UNICEF is spoken as United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, but right now its name is being spoken as United Nations International Children's Fund. So emergency word is now not in use. So just some change in its full form. Okay. And last institution under ECOSOC is UNESCO, UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So now I have just stated main six divisions of ECOSOC, but every division is functioning as the organization it in its own status, and in any kind of the epidemics we can realize the importance of the WHO. So in that way the importance of all these institutions in their independent manner is also more important. Okay, let's discuss first about the structure of the ECOSOC. Actually, General Assembly of United Nations is deciding about its retiring members. Whoever are retired, the another new members are being appointed by General Assembly, and always 2/3 members are retired after every interval of 3 years. Okay, here I want to indicate one thing more. Actually, 2/3 is showing that 66%, but maybe 1/3 is almostly possible, because 2/3 are changed, means out of the 3 units 2 units are changed, At the interval of 3 years, it is somehow difficult. So actually, we can say here 1/3 is changed. That is somehow mistake. I feel so. ECOSOC is a council, right? Economic and Social Council. It is its full form. Okay. So they are working for raising standard of living of nations of all over the world without looking to them by any bias, maybe religion, maybe caste, maybe region, any kind of the bias is not impacted to them. So here I want to say that ECOSOC is working very well to uplift the living standard of the people. Okay, now I am starting the explanation of every organization working under the roof of ECOSOC. The first one is the WHO. We all knows about it. WHO is actually working for looking to health conditions of the people of all over the world. So, in any epidemics, the COVID is a one kind of the epidemic. In any epidemic, we can see their active participation in creating awareness about epidemic in mind of the people, because general and the common people are not completely aware about any epidemic or the danger of epidemic. So they are living their life in their own way. But here WHO is working very actively to stop any epidemic whenever it arises. Earlier swine flu was also there, the dengue, even in the TB, different vaccination is also being done under the WHO. Okay. Now I am going to discuss about the second one is IMF, International Monetary Fund. They are working for the financial stability of almostly developing nations of all over the world. See, here they are supporting all poor countries and country whichever is needed. They are providing financial assistance to sustain their economic condition. So the country's financial structure may not decline. That is the essentiality to understand about the need of IMF, because they try to make the country's economy stable. That is the point we have to understand. Okay. Now the next one is FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. Actually, they help to improve the condition of agricultural production in almostly countries. Second, for awareness about the forest, because this is the modern period, so people are moving toward the development, but development is creating negative impact over the vegetation and the greenery, so it is necessary to see. So the forest and fisheries also, they are giving importance to it, as well as they try to raise the nutritious level in our food by creating awareness about the malnutrition. Malnutrition means the nutrition's level in our body may not reduce, is required to see, and any family in any world, in any country of the world, may not live in the malnutrition condition due to the hunger, due to the starvation, whatever I can say. To stop all these things is the work and the responsibility of FAO, and they are looking for it. Okay, the next one is ILO, International Labour Organization. So now I am explaining what they are doing. They are looking to the importance and awareness about rights and justice to the laborers. So the world's any rich country or the company of any nation may not do any kind of the exploitation of the laborers that is to be seen, monitored and supervised by ILO. It is the duty of ILO that we have to remember compulsory, because they are making awareness in the mind of the people about rights of laborers, because so many times we can see the exploitation of the laborers is taking place at any place, anywhere. That is required to be stopped. Okay. Now the next one is a UNICEF. See, I have already stated the full form of the UNICEF. United Nations Children's International Children's Fund. That is now new name. Earlier it was spoken as United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, but now it has been changed as the Children's Fund, right? So what they are working, let us discuss now. They are looking to child welfare activities is taken in current time or done by different nations of the world to improve health condition of the children. Usually so many countries and so many people in the world are losing their kids just due to the malnutrition. That is the main problem present days. So to make the awareness in mind of the people in all over the world is to see that to provide needed people or the needy people nutritious food and provide education. So the children must be developed in their own capacity. That is necessary to see. So that is being taken in consideration by UNICEF, and they are making lots of the efforts for the awareness about the nutritious condition of the kids and education. So here their work is most important for the poor and the developing nations, right? The last institution working under ECOSOC is UNESCO. We have already gone through its full form, right? But now I am explaining its activity. They works to improve cooperation between different nations by removing their illiteracy. Also, they are trying to raise standard of living of the people through education, provide justice, looking for the science, awareness about the scientific approach, and they are trying to see that the cultural resources may remain in the world. See, many countries have their historical monuments. Monuments means places of the history in their country. If it is the most ancient and having the long historical stories, such places are considered in the list of United Nations World Heritage Site. Our Ahmedabad is considered in the United Nations UNESCO's World Heritage as the World Heritage City. That is the importance. We have to take the proud for it, right? Okay. So here I try to explain sub-councils, regional councils which are working under ECOSOC. Okay. I have completely explained the aspect. Okay. Now I am moving to the next topic. It is Trusteeship Council. See, when originally the Second World War was completed, the world was in need of such institution who has to take care of so many poor nations who have not actual rulers to rule them. So many disturbances and chaos was or the anarchy was spread out To save the to save these countries' administration, this institution was organized or established or framed. Here, 5 permanent members are working who are in the United Nations Security Council are the permanent member. They are also permanent member here. The representatives of General Assembly are also included here. Means 5 permanent member as well as the representatives selected by the General Assembly are also sitting here, and they are looking for situation of such nations. And when the United Nations was in the beginning days, this institution's importance was much more. But right now, nowadays, the situation has changed, and so many countries are not needed now. Actually, if any country has not acquired independence, they will be monitored by this institution. Second, which provinces are under direct mandate of the United Nations, they are also being supervised by this institution. Third, the countries who have been defeated in Second World War were also brought under this institution's supervision, and also the social development, the economical development and political developments aspect is being taken in consideration about these countries which are in need of such institutions control over them. So in that way, after the Second World War, the importance of the trusteeship council was much more. But right now, as the time has changed, the importance of the trusteeship council has been somehow reduced. But even thereafter, in the African continent, some countries of the Latin America, and some countries where the Eastern European part is having some poverty, in all those countries, trusteeship council is even today is active. Right, my friends? So now I am going to start to discuss the International Court of Justice. Actually, if we try to understand, originally there is no nation in the world who is always going to such international courts. But when there is some confusion, disputes, or reason for the quarrel or the clashes between nations may arise, such matters are brought in front of this International Court of Justice. Their verdict, means the judgment, is considered not as the binding but as only legal advice. It means if their judgment is brought as the binding, then so many countries may remain in control, but yet today their judgment in your textbook is given as the verdict. Verdict means the judgment. Their judgment is taken as just guidelines or roadmap or as the advice to the nations, but not as the binding. That is the problem. But here I am explaining its importance. Okay. So we have to understand that such disputes between nations are being solved and most probably is reached to its compromise by given as the judges of this court. Okay, now I want to explain how many judges are sitting in this institution. Total 15 judges are sitting in this institution. Second, all these 15 judges are elected and nominated, means Their names are given by different countries, and ultimately General Assembly is approving their name, and they are being appointed for at least 9 years. So in that way, the importance of the International Court of Justice is very much. From our India, the International Court of Justice have seen at least three people: B.N. Rao, Dr. Nagendra Singh, and Mr. R.S. Pathak. These all judges from our Supreme Court, as they were retired, they were transferred to this International Court of Justice. It is our proud. Okay. In Trusteeship Council also, India has seated for more than one time. Okay. UNESCO was once under our retired president, late Dr. Radhakrishnan, under UNESCO was under his presidentialship. In WHO this year, our India's one Union Minister of Health, Dr. Harshvardhan, is the president this time of WHO. So it means India's contribution in all these institutions is always extraordinary. Even in Secretariat, the Deputy Secretary, in the post of Deputy Secretary, Mr. Shashi Tharoor has already appointed, and he has worked as the Deputy Secretary. So here also, okay, in this time, 2021-22, for these 2 years, India has been appointed as the non-permanent member in Security Council. So here you must admire the India's contribution in the United Nations, and our always association with the United Nations is extremely very well. Okay. In General Assembly also, I want to indicate one thing, that our Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit once had seated as the president for the specific year, most probably 1953, as president in General Assembly. So it means our India's place is always numerable, valuable, and our contribution with the United Nations is always very, very, very much important. So India has always given importance and tried to coordinate with the United Nations. Many times under the Security Council's order, our India's army have joined their peacekeeping force. Sometimes the clashes are taking place between two different nations, and it is not possible to stop. And at that time, United Nations is sending their army. It is called peacekeeping force, and India have already seated in their force. So India's contribution in United Nations is extremely well, and all the countries always giving us most important respect in United Nations, right my friend? So today I have tried to explain complete explanation about United Nations and India's relation with them. Okay my friends?